The Knicks are bringing back a basketball legend, a Knick legend, to join the franchise. Number 33, Patrick Ewing, is returning to the Knicks. He is joining the team as a basketball ambassador. And with that role, that means he does things for the Knicks on the court and off the court. And speaking about on the court, recently he was spotted working with newest Knick, Karl-Anthony Towns. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks bring back Ewing, and he was recently spotted working with Karl-Anthony Towns. I gotta say, guys, it's about time that the Knicks have finally brought this man to a place where he belongs, back to the organization. We can all go back, all the way back to 2000. We all remember it like it was yesterday, if we were in that moment or we were living it. We were never able to give Ewing the send-off that he deserved, and we were never able to give him a place in this franchise like he deserved as well, too. But now, with Leon Rose taking charge, we are finally making the moves that we need to make. And one of them was bringing back number 33 to the Garden. As you can see here, the official New York Knicks account on the app X gave us the following post. Welcome back, 33. Knicks legend Patrick Ewing will rejoin the franchise as basketball ambassador. And this was Ewing's quote after receiving the role. As I said the day my number 33 jersey lifted into the rafters at MSG, I will always be a Knick and I will always be a New Yorker. I can't wait to get started in this new position and to officially be back with the organization that I love so much. The Garden has always been my home, and I'm looking forward to working with Leon Rose, Coach Thibodeau, the team, and everyone else that makes this place so special. There are so many former Knicks that deserve a role with this franchise, but Patrick Ewing, one of the greatest Knicks of all time, a NBA legend, he absolutely deserved this. He has wanted this for a very long time. He's made that pretty clear. And finally now, a lot of New Yorkers, including myself and including Ewing himself, gets his wish. He's back with the organization. But even more than that, in his role as an ambassador, he'll be able to do a lot of things for the Knicks on and off the court. Likely, if the Knicks want him to go out and meet with different players, potentially do some scouting, things like that, Ewing can help with that. And maybe if they want him to work with certain big men that the Knicks currently have on the roster, he can do that too. And he didn't waste any time attempting to do that, because on the day this was announced, the next picture we saw was of him and newest Knick, Karl-Anthony Towns. This is obviously at the Knicks training facility. You can see here, Ewing meets Towns. They embrace. We don't know what they talked about, what they discussed. We don't know if he helped them or gave him any tips about how to play in New York, understanding that New York pressure, or even more so, just understanding his game a little bit more and telling him you can be more dominant if you play inside. Now, this was their first meeting, so maybe a lot wasn't said right now. But the fact that this happened the same day it's announced that he's joining the franchise again is huge. That tells me he will have a role in helping to develop the big men for the Knicks of the future. That means everybody is going to get help and get some advice, including our newest big man in Karl-Anthony Towns. I think a lot of people have said it over the years, myself included. If Towns is able to be a force inside, to dominate inside, like I think we all know he can do, and he doesn't settle for the three, but he uses it as exactly what it is, a weapon to scare other players, make them have to defend him harder, and then it unlocks his playmaking. And when you unlock a big man's playmaking like Towns, everybody else can eat, they can get open, and they can get their own shots. because not only is Towns big enough to shoot over you, he's tall enough to pass over you, to see everything. And I think that's a part where he doesn't get enough credit. Not his passing game per se, his vision. Not because he's taller, because he is, but also his basketball IQ is off the charts. When you pair that with his size, they go together extremely well. And if Ewing can teach him how to utilize his body more down low, how to bang better down low, how to be more of a force down low, can you imagine a Karl-Anthony Towns with advice from Patrick Ewing? And then you pair that with his game, his shooting, and his outside shot. That's a monster. That's a deadly combination. The NBA really allowed the Knicks to get Karl-Anthony Towns and then sign Ewing a couple of days later so we can create one of the most deadly combinations we've seen in the league. We're talking about one of the best big men in Knicks history in Patrick Ewing. And now we're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns, arguably the next best big man after Ewing to join this team. That's the two people right now that are engaging, speaking, and working on his game together. That's absolutely what I've always wanted to see. I've wanted to see this since Mitchell Robinson was young in the league because I thought he could use that type of advice and development then. Who knows what Robinson could have been today if he worked with Ewing at that stage. Now, everybody else who's young, up and coming, we're talking about Jericho Sims, even Preston Chua to an extent, they can get some help from Patrick Ewing and take some advice from him. They can develop into better players because of Ewing, but nobody more is going to take this advice to heart than Karl-Anthony Towns. Not only because of the love and respect he has for this organization and for Ewing himself, but because he knows this is the opportunity to take his game to the next level, show everybody who thought he should have been traded in the Timberwolves that they never should have traded him, that they had a good big man on that team, and now they let him loose on the Knicks, and now he's going to run havoc. He's going to cause chaos, but in the good way for New York, because he's going to help us get closer to winning a championship. And that's the main reason the Knicks made this move in the first place. That and the fact that they knew likely Randall was not going to sign an extension with the Knicks and he was not going to stay here long term. When you take all those factors into consideration, you can understand why the Knicks made this move. But even more so, the Knicks making this move and having in the back of their mind that they were still going to bring Patrick Ewing along, I'm sure that was the plan as well, too, to bring more talent on this team and utilize that talent to help develop your players better. If you can do that, you get more out of your players. They're more competitive. They're better players. And that's how you move forward in the league, not only by adding talent, but by developing talent. And we have good players on this team that if they take just another step, they'll be great. And that's what Tom Thibodeau is trying to unlock right now. That's what the coaching staff is trying to unlock right now. And this picture tells me that that's exactly what the Knicks are trying to get out of Karl-Anthony Towns with this hire of Patrick Ewing. Not only does it make a lot of older Knicks fans feel a lot better that Ewing's back with the franchise, but it feels good for everybody seeing that image and understanding that his role for this franchise will not only be off the court, it will be on the court as well, too. And that's exactly where we need him to be right now. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Leon Rose, and shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns, not only for providing that picture, but also understanding this is an opportunity to learn from one of the very best to ever do it in the orange and blue. And I am so happy it's all come together this season. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks bringing back Patrick Ewing? And even more so, what do you think about the following image showing him greeting, embracing, and obviously working with Karl-Anthony Towns? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans.